Jason, do you know what doom spending is?
Do you know what doom scrolling is?
I feel
Same
like
thing.
yeah,
Same thing.
it's kind of similar.
You're
It's
doomed.
yeah, they're both doom in there. Yeah, doom spending is essentially like impulsively buying things because of factors outside of your control, being economic, political, a lot of stuff that happens.
Is it like what is it like buying food? Like you feel bad so you eat more type thing. But
So
instead of eating, you're spending.
So yes, so we're going to be going through this. Which generation are more vulnerable to doom spending, and here's how to stop it. So, like you said,
Oh,
you've heard
perfect.
of doom scrolling, flipping through constantly available streams of bad news that social media and devices make accessible 24/7. But have you heard of doom spending? The phenomenon appears to affect younger generations like millennial and Gen Z, most perhaps because they are first generation to really grow up fully online. So you're getting ingested a bunch of negative things, and then what does that make you want to do?
Get gifts.
Get gifts. So because
Amazon
everything,
packages.
Amazon packages, because everything might seem bad, people justify making unnecessary or even foolish expenditures because they may feel hopeless about the future, thus dubbed doom spending. So yeah.
I have I guess an interesting take on that. What it kind of sounds similar to.
Oh, okay. What does it kind of sound similar to?
I think it sounds similar to like um, midlife crisis, where
Oh,
you're like you go
yeah.
out and like you're like, oh, I feel
It feels a little hopeless, or you feel like you want to change, or
like
you
you
feel,
change or like I want to do
yeah.
something with all this money or whatever. So it's like, oh, look at this,
Let me just spend it. Yeah, similar to this,
like
they
a
put
little
it
treat.
differently. They put it a little differently here, similar to retail therapy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
any kind of shopping you do from an emotional place without putting logic into place is likely to get you into trouble. Financial experts explained how to curb this tendency, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before that, if you like interesting topics like this, consider subscribing. We put out interesting videos like this all the time. We have a library of videos just like this, and you know what? Subscribing does really help out the channel, so consider subscribing. So, yes, the thing is that, yeah, doom spending, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And it says
Do
instant
you do it?
gratification. No, I do not do doom spending. I think that for the most part, um, I, well, actually, we'll get into it in a second because, yes, there's
Don't you buy your
instant.
cat stuff?
Well, I love my cat, and that is not doom spending. Let me just tell you that.
They need all that stuff.
They need all of that stuff for happiness. So instant gratification and spending access. While emotional spending is not a new phenomenon, a debt relief attorney with the Tanya Law Group agreed that social media has made it easier than ever to make impulsive purchases in several ways. Not only are ads seamlessly integrated into many social platforms, but they're highly targeted to the interests and spending history of the users. Plus, users often have their payment information saved in their phones and apps, making it all too easy to hit the buy without taking time to think about their purchases.
I mean, if you think about how Amazon does it, it's like the buy now button. You
Yeah, that's
just
true.
click on it and you swipe, and then
They
it's
make
like
it
buy.
super easy. They
And
make
your
everyone
information,
makes
yeah,
it super easy
your
to do
information's
that.
already in there, so it knows where to send it. It knows your information, like what your preferred card is. It just
Yeah.
sends it.
So they say while that instant gratification can make you feel better in the short term, it often leads to regret later on when you need the funds you wasted.
But I mean, you definitely needed that espresso machine. Like,
You
you really needed it.
After hearing Sabrina Carpenter, you go and you buy an espresso machine, even though
Because you need to practice your latte art. You need to get the really nice little pour,
that's true.
specific
Oh my
pour.
god. Okay, so we're trying to avoid doom spending here.
But wouldn't
So
it be cool though?
but wouldn't it be cool? A holdover from early pandemic days, the recent surge in doom spending may have been brought on by the pandemic. This was from a financial analyst.
Interesting.
Obviously, during the pandemic, there was terrible news every day. Then the government sent out a series of checks to people, regardless of whether they'd be affected financially. This gave people the means to spend as a diversion While those checks have long since ended, the tendencies to seek diversions may have not. When debt becomes unmanageable, it's only caused further financial and psychological harm. So doom spending can become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I think it's a lot like gambling, where
Oh,
you get
yeah.
like that dopamine hit. You're like, every time you buy something, you're like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it.
It's a retail therapy. 100%. It's like similar to retail therapy. It says create healthy diversions. Um, Barrington recommends you try to thwart your cycle by giving yourself a reality check. Overspending and going into debt aren't going to solve your problems. They're only going to pile on additional problems. Think ahead. How are you going to feel when those bills come due? He suggests thinking about diversions you enjoy that don't cause harm, and maybe working out, seeing a movie, listening to music, watching
All those things
sports.
cost money.
Yeah, all of these things cost sport. You know, you can work out outside. Getting together with friends is probably the most expensive thing here.
Do all those things.
If you're with a friend, you do all of these things, and they all
then-
cost money.
and it's double. So now.
Yeah. So if you could substitute a less harmful activity for doom spending, you can leave yourself with fewer problems.
I think one way that I stop spending, like if I pick something at the store, like, do I really need this? And like, I really want it. So I'll take it and I'll hold it.
That's what I do too. By
And
the
like,
way, yeah.
but like I don't put it in the cart. I like physically hold it and I walk around with
It
it.
becomes unbearable to
I'm like,
hold it after a while.
I don't need this, and I put
Yeah.
it back. And like this, I didn't really want it that bad.
Yeah,
To carry around the store.
Or if you go into a Target, if you're a big Target shopper, you just don't take a cart, or you don't take
You take a little basket.
you
and,
take a little basket, or you take no basket at all, and you go hands
only?
just hands only. That will 100% ensure that you don't overspend.
Because you have to carry with your hands.
You have to carry everything with your hands.
There'll be questions like, "Are you trying to rob this place?" And all this stuff.
It's a bunch of sodas. And it's
See,
bunch of-
that's a
yeah.
wake-up call when the Target employee comes up. He's
That
like,
is
"Sir,
true.
sir, are you
You
okay?"
need to change your life. There is a life-changing event that's happening right here, and it's when
It's
you're
an
holding.
intervention.
It's when you're holding a bunch of stuff in the Target, and you're like, "Where has my life gone?" So yeah. So by the way, this a couple of these things are pretty good because it says institute a 24-hour discretionary rule to curb. It basically recommends instituting a 24-hour rule. If you see something you want, bookmark it and come back to it after a full day. Yeah, typically I put stuff in my cart too, like, and I leave it there for I leave it there for a week or two. And then if I really want it, I get it. But for the most part, most of the time, I just exit it, take it out of my cart.
I think a lot of times I go off like it has to be a certain amount. Like you can't be buying really expensive things. Like like the example I gave before was like espresso machine. Those aren't cheap.
No, those
So
are very
I was
expensive.
just like, that's a big purchase that you'd have to like think about, because then like, do I even really want to get it? You know, like
you know
which
what-
one's the best one?
You know
Just
what's
let 'em-
also a good one? If you're using Amazon, you put it in the save now. Or save for later, because it becomes an endless abyss of stuff there that you're just like, you eventually just clear it out later.
The other one that I think of is you start looking at like doing more research into the best, or like the best one to buy of anything. And you
Oh
go
my
down,
god!
and you just go down a rabbit
It's
hole.
going to be $10,000 eventually. You're going to hit the thousands of dollars on every product.
But no, like you're like looking at different products, and they're all like one's slightly better than the other one, and then eventually you're just like, I just can't choose any of them, because they're all like so similar, like so different in like various ways that you're like, I can't choose any of these.
You at some point, okay, so I agree with this, because if you are choosing the best of something, you will eventually hit a price point that you cannot afford to spend money on, because
And then you buy it anyways.
and then you buy it anyways. Like
One button press.
if you buy, like, okay, let's say you're
The
buying
most expensive coffee machine.
the most that's
20,000.
20,000, or the most expensive pair of shoes. If you're looking at shoes and you're like, oh, I really like this one. Oh wait, no, this one's better. You
little more
eventually are
limited
gonna hit
edition.
like $5,000-$10,000 shoes, and you're gonna be like, well, I can't buy that.
You know what? Flip flops works too.
Flip flops works too. Yeah, I just need something on my feet. It doesn't break. So
Socks.
So you mentioned this, by the way, like Amazon makes it so easy. So this is another method to remove safe
God,
payment methods.
Anytime I have to put my credit card information in, I'm just like, do I
No,
really
it's such
want
a
it?
hassle. It's literally such a hassle to put it in. I mean, it's like they do make it so easy for you to put it in. Face recognition too. They
Your-
put
it's
like
on your browser a lot of times.
So they make it so easy. So if you they actively encourage you to do this because some
Yeah.
even at checkout, some places tell you it's like save your payment information for faster
I
checkout later.
mean, at Whole Foods, you
Oh,
can pay with your
the
hand,
palm. Yeah, yeah.
pay with your palm.
That's crazy. So it says go on an unfollow spree. Yeah, there's a bunch of influencers too that
Oh, there you go. See,
yeah,
other
that's gonna
ways to
help you
get that
reduce
dopamine
exposure
hit.
to influencers and brands that encourage emotional spending. And then it's consider other ways to get dopamine hits. Yeah, you're right. But you know what?
Gambling.
Oh my God.
No.
There's by the way, the last thing I do want to mention is it's not only this article that talks about it,
There's multiple
because you might
places.
think that the go banking rates, it's not really like it's doing it for you, and that you need something a little bit more legitimate. So we have here Charles Schwab that says 3 ways to avoid doom spending. I'm just gonna go over it
Real
really
quick.
quick. It just says make it harder to mindlessly spend because doom spending often occurs when consumers don't consider whether they need or even want an item or what impact of the purchase it could have to their finances. Another thing is change your social media online habits. A lot of it centers
Oh.
around this because they are often when this is happening, it's like they're online on social media.
The crazy one, if you go back up there, is that they are recommending that you remove your credit card information. That's the same one as before, and then switching to cash for in-store purchases. If I have to use cash, I have to go to the bank and get cash, and then go to the place and then pay, like hand them the money. That is like a huge barrier
That
to
is
me
that
buying
is
something
it,
because I don't carry cash normally. So it's like I
because
have to go out of my way to get the cash
most of
to
these
do this.
companies try to make the process as frictionless as possible for you to get the item.
So if you have to go
100%.
and get cash, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's not gonna be great.
yeah, so it's like change your social media online habits, and then it also engage in financial self care for your future you. Using spending to deal with your current stressors will likely set you up for even more stress in the future. But if you take steps to put yourself on a more secure financial footing, you could help slash those anxiety levels. Yeah, so it just says savings recommending 10 to 15% of your income for retirement isn't possible right now. Earning even a tiny amount or earmarking even a tiny amount will put you into a better financial position than no savings at all. So yeah, so just
Eyes on
keep
the prize.
keep your eyes on the prize. Build for something better. Don't doom spend.
Yeah.
No, instant gratification is one thing, but you're gonna get more long-term gratification if you save for something that you actually want. Like the best coffee maker, best espresso maker, $20,000.
Yeah. Last thing for me, this is the biggest piece of advice. I think if you have like a trip or something, or like something that you want to save up for, like you may have the impulsiveness to like want to buy something immediately. But one of the other things I would do is just think about like, oh, if I want to go traveling or something, I'll go like look at videos of like that place I want to go traveling to, and it's like, oh, then I don't really want to like spend money now because I'm like, oh, I'm
That's
gonna go on
good.
that.
That's
I'm gonna
actually
be going
really
on that
good.
trip later,
Yeah.
So I'll save my money for that, and then in the end, it's like you're saving hundreds of dollars in like small things because you're saving up for this.
The big thing, yeah.
Well, yeah, this bigger thing like vacation things. I
Yeah.
mean, granted, vacations are pretty big,
Yeah.
but they don't happen all the time. So that helps like curb a lot of the extra spending. I think.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But yes, I would want to know the thoughts of our audience, and you could put those thoughts in the comment section down below.